Okay, I call upon the next speaker, Mr. Yasir Chowdhrey, Head of Digital Marketing, DHL Express Malaysia. I'm going to present on the topic on TrendJacking. About Mr. Yasir, a growth hacker with over 11 years of experience across 3 countries in the Asia Pacific. He's a commercial all-rounder who blended his deep understanding of business with the zeal of digital marketing. His core expertise is in growth marketing, customer experience, and lead generation. As an avid learner, Yasir writes regularly on Quora and LinkedIn. He enjoys fresh perspective and teaching coaching comes naturally to him. He loves to share and can be contacted for coaching or mentoring on LinkedIn. So I welcome once again Mr. Yasir Chowdhury to present the topic on TrendJacking.
Hello everyone. I hope I am not late to the start of the session. So we will be discussing trend jacking 404. I am Yasir. The reason it's 404 is because this is actually the fourth edition of the presentation that I have made. Uh, Previously, when we first created or when I started working, it was we named it as trend jacking 101. But over the period of time, we kept improving it into it as we experimented more and more with it. So I think this one is 404. Already the newer version is DU based on the experimentation over the period of time. So yeah, hopefully if we have this session again sometime later, I will be able to present you a lot more updates on this. So I am Yasir. I specializes in organic marketing, growth marketing. I do a lot of paid as well, but something organic comes naturally to me, and this is where I position myself as well. Uh, I try to get I try to get result without at a lowest possible budget, and that is my specialty. So trend checking 10404 is one of that strategy. As mentioned, I can be contacted on LinkedIn. This is my QR code. You can scan it. You can connect with me if you need any help. If you want me to audit your account or do any, I will try to do my best to advise you on that. Yeah. So okay, so this is it. So what is trend checking? So trend checking is uh, is not a new term. Brands have been using it for ever, but now over the past some time, the social media has completely changed the way it's supposed to happen. Previously, the trends used to last longer, the brands used to capitalize it, they used to come up with an ad and all of that. But now a trends comes for hours, trends comes for minutes. There are few trends which leaves for few days, and then usually people move to the next big thing. So that is why for us who are trying to get the attention in this world, it's very difficult for the brands to get an attention because most of the attention is going to the influencers and all of that. So to do that, we have to position ourselves within it. So what is trend checking? I would skip this for the benefit of the session. This is a slide. I would directly jump into what is trend checking. So trend checking is basically a basic opportunity to capitalize on any current trend that is happening, right? And what is the biggest benefit of trend checking is because there's already that particular topic is trending. A lot of people are talking about it, so you get to place your brand over there and connect your brand to the trend, and your overall first you get a lot more reach, and the second biggest benefit is your memorability increases a lot. So trend checking mostly as a funnel, we always talk about full funnel marketing, which is awareness, interest, consideration, conversion, and loyalty. Mostly trend checking has the greatest impact when you are trying to create more awareness of the brand or trying to increase the recall of the brand. So for example, you have an unknown brand, you want to, or you are a new startup, you want to make sure more and more people know about it. So you try to be more part of the trend so that people get started getting familiar with the brand, and the word of mouth starts to travel. The second part is the memorability. So for example, if you're a brand, which every brand wants to have more recall, because more recall means more sales. So then you try to put yourself into the trend so that you have a greater space in the mind of the consumer. So this is basically what trend checking is in a nutshell. But the main question is, how do we do it? So the first thing is in the trend checking is spotting a trend. So the most important thing is what is happening. How do we spot a trend? There you can find it on social media, you can find it on hashtag, you can find it on Google Trend. There are various ways, or you just keep following. So, for example, for the last 2 days, there have been a lot of noise about Emmys awards or Roger Federer retiring or so many other things. So you need to see what trend is more relevant to your business. Is there any trend which is relevant to your local marketing or local event or the global event, and you need to spot those trends. Trends are happening everywhere. They need to brainstorm how the whole trend is relevant to the business. So it has to really relate to your brand. It just not be random, and build the right narrative around it. So you have to put your product into it. Then the last thing is make sure you evaluate it and then you post it. And the fifth is equally important step, which is monitor and interact with it, because as people engage with it, it's your job to further fuel the trend, and maybe you get a chance to create something bigger out of it as well. I mean, trend jacking again. So I mean, for example, someone commented on it, and you get a chance to convert that comment into another trend, and that is how you. It is very important to monitor and interact once you make the post and start engaging the community, because people like to engage with those with these as well. So we have discussed what is trend checking. We have discussed why trend checking, but there are three types of trend checking. The way we classify it. The number one is the planned. So, for example, we know Roger Federer was retiring. We know Olympics is happening. We know Cricket World Cup is happening. We know this is happening. This sports national events. We know these are the important events, so we can plan for it, right? And there's a predictable outcome. Relevance has to be super important over there because everybody is trying to do it. Everybody is prepared. Everybody is doing it. Spontaneous is which is a sudden trigger of event, right? For example, uh, if you guys have known Netflix or you follow Netflix, there's a season Squid Game suddenly got popular. There was a sudden event, people going suddenly crazy about one of the season which was previously not that popular, and then suddenly it became a big trend. It can be content driven, it can be news driven, it can be someone made some mistake, and then the it started to everybody started to talk about it. So timing is important because usually the main point in this one is the faster the respond, usually you get the best result when you respond to it the faster, because early if you participate in the trend, in a spontaneous trend, you will get the higher impact. Then the third one we classified is hybrid. So in important events, so for example, Olympics is happening, we know who is playing, or World Cup is happening, we know who's playing, but suddenly some event happened under it, which became a trending topic suddenly. So hybrid, the reason we call it hybrid is because you can plan for it partially. You can know when it's happening. So, for example, getting yourself or your team active during those events, which are very relevant to your business, and then try to see if you can put your brand into it among somewhere over it. So, speed and relevance both matter, but speed matters more than hybrid trend as well, because it's usually the lifeline of these trends are very limited. So, you have to do it at the right time. So this is how we put it. This is a 2 by 2 matrix of type of trend checking. One side is time to action, one side is relevance. So when it comes to the planned trend checking, which is talking about key moments, which we know that this moment will be happening. Time to action we have a lot, but at the same time the relevance has to be really really high. We have to be distinguished as well. It has to be done really really well as well. But when it comes to spontaneous, speed matters more, relevance matter less. You even if it's a weak link with your brand, a lot of times it performs because people are just in the moment with that particular trend, and there's not much to compare to against as well. So, yep, we have discussed the planned trend checking. We have discussed the spontaneous trend checking. So this is basically this is an example of 4th October when there was if you guys know, on 4th October 2021, suddenly Instagram and all of the other Facebook apps, they went offline. And then Twitter, this is just a single tweet, but this got millions of likes, 3.3 million likes, 191.5K codes. It got the Lions Award as well. Lions is a creativity award, and literally they posted this tweet, I think, in the next 28 minutes. And even the WhatsApp and Facebook and all of the other brands responded to it, and it became the next day. It became a part of the news. There was so much, there was so much conversation going on about it. So this is how a single tweet can get you millions of organic engagement. But obviously, you need to have the that brainstorm session going on for you to uh, actually capitalize on this. This is an example: Instagram, WhatsApp. Uh, Replying to it when actually Twitter did it, and this was a massive success. They win the Lions for it and making it more newsworthy. Brands picked it up. Other brands tried to come and be part of this trend as well. The newspaper picked it up, and everybody was not only talking about Facebook and Instagram outage, they were also talking about how Twitter put themselves into it, or how many people suddenly go live on their Twitter, fueling more people to direct over there. Because once suddenly the news started to create, a lot of people got excited and they log in into their Twitter account. On that particular day, Twitter has more reactive logins than they have on any particular day. For example, we all have various social media apps. Some social media we use, some social media we don't use. So for a lot of people who were not using Twitter regularly, they log into it again. So that just one single tweet and going viral and creating at the right time and literally in the right manner. So this is why trend checking can be so popular, because it's like it's like a live advertising, but you really hit the spot really well. There's another example of a Squid Game. So this is a popular. A lot of brands created this. Pepsi created this. This SEM rush. So everybody tried to create it. The Squid Game campaign, and I don't think there's any brand that missed on it, but yeah, it depends on what stage, who did it at what stage. But yeah, Squid Game was one of the biggest example of trend jack, because suddenly there was so much happening and everybody got excited. Everybody wanted their brand to be pitched into it. There's another Squid Game prank. Everybody would try to be me too. Some uh, putting it, but yeah, again I say Domino's doing it. Gillette doing it. There's a Shopee, which is a Southeast Asian e-commerce brand. Amazon of Southeast Asia. They were doing it, but the whole point is you don't have to participate in all the trends. Why? Because some of the trends, if you have already missed out at the right time, it's really you don't really need to invest the time and resources into doing that. You have to make sure you are not jumping it for the me too, and you jump it at a really early stage. So that is very important. So if I go to the, yeah, so this is where we call it trend. So every trend will have different timeline. We cannot say what is the timeline of each trend. Some are for hours, some are for days, but usually when it's developing, you know that okay, this trend will be there for some amount of time. So the whole point is the real benefit that the brands get when they hijack it over here before most of the other brands hijack it. So that is why the timing is very important. Distribution with the right hashtag is equally important, so that the people who are really interested about it started talking about it. And relevancy is depends on which type of trend checking it is. If it's a planned one, then the relevancy is super important. If it's spontaneous, you can get you can go with less relevancy out there as well. So if we talk about Squid Game, this is the same example. Squid Game started here, and just before it was 250K. That was the right time. between September 19 to September 23 to Trend Jacket. Else, after that, people were already seeing a lot of posts from Squid Games, uh, and there was everybody was doing it already. So it's not really a me too thing. You have to be early when it comes to trend, and you have to do it before most of the people do it. Right? You don't have to be the first, but you have to be early. So if I talk about the hybrid ones is the ones which are done at a certain event. Speed and relevance both matter, but speed matter most, right? So this is a very old one. At that time, even the Twitter was not that popular, so we won't go into the engagement and all of that in comparison to the this world time. But this was one of the best example, best Super Bowl ad out there. Why? Because and if you know Super Bowl ads, they are the most expensive Super Bowl. They are the most expensive ad in the world because it's a prime time and most of the people are watching it. But this brand was able to get the most attention out of Super Bowl without investing a single penny. And that was all happened through TrendJacking. So what happened during the Super Bowl? There was a power out, and obviously the whole stadium went dark, and everybody was like, "Hey, what is happening?" At that time, Oreo came up with this particular image, like you can still dunk in the dark, and it became really really viral because of the timing speed that they did it. Because the light only went off a few minutes, and before that, by that when the light went off and before that it came, they already had this going on, and the next day they were all over the news. People were talking about them like crazy. Everybody was like, "Hey, how I mean, this was the most talked story for quite a few days after that as well." So speed matters a lot. You cannot be going and preparing briefs or going through 100 briefs and PowerPoint points. By the time if you do that, the trend will already end. So it has to be done over a period over WhatsApp or anything, and it has to be done at a speed. So this is an example. Uh, the results were massive. I think they did it in the 17 minutes or 18 minutes, something like that, between the light gone and they coming up with this thing. How did this happen? They were ready and looking for moments under Super Bowl. So that is how you do that, right? Their team was ready. No, that if anything creative come out of it, we will be there to participate on the track. That's how it happens. Everybody was ready. Everybody was there, and it's not like they had to start a conversation and all of that. They were looking for the moments, and as soon as they got the moment, they created it and they publish it. So these are the three types of trend checking. I think very few brands are making the very good use of it. Most of the brands are missing on it big time, and the reason is because they don't have the process set up. And once you have the process set up on and off, you can get an opportunity to be early to the trend and actually get a lot of social media audience uh, related to your business. So yeah, that's it. Any question? I think there's a question from Vinay. In what ways does trend checking helps the industry to reach the audience? Okay, so Vinay, there are various examples. I hope I understand the question right. But if I answer it incorrectly, you please let me know. I will okay. So what ways trend checking work for the company? So it depends on which stage you are doing. For example, if you are doing purely for awareness of your brand, then it helps you getting followers, it helps you getting business as well. A lot of times, it helps you get develop the interest in the brand. It helps you position your brand at a memorable site related to it. So I think it depends on what you are trying to achieve with it. There is no single thing that business outcome that you can drive. It's just like a viral marketing idea. to actually gain and be part of what is happening in the market, so that you are able to increase the reach. So for example, as basic as social media customer service, there are a lot of opportunities to TrendJack over there by responding to the customers in a slightly different manner than what usually do it, or responding in a way which is relevant to what's happening in the market or what's relevant to the customer. So there are a few brands that really do it on only by Twitter customer service as well. So I mean, the reason, what I'm trying to say is, you can find any goal related to the awareness of the business or awareness of a product, and can start finding opportunities related to it.
Thank you, Mr. Yasir. We have one more question. Is the trend should be directly related to the brand?
No, I don't think so. You can find all the trends for your business. So, for example, uh, Squid Game, it was not relevant for most of the businesses, but quite a few brands, they put their logo over that particular picture, and they it worked for them. Sports day, national day, a lot of times, if you are doing a planned trend tracking, a lot of time it's not really relevant to the business, and anybody could do it. So, for example, if I talk about that Super Bowl moment where Oreo published their ad, a lot of brands could have fit their brands over there. So, for example, a 10-minute delivery kind of a company would have fit. Hey, if your bulb has fused, we deliver in 10 minutes. You don't have to wait. Or if you are an insurance company, you could have say, hey, always have an insurance because any moment can go dark. I mean, there are various ways you can put your brand into it. You just have to be slightly creative during those time. And as mentioned, when it comes to spontaneous, you just have to be 10% relevant. The 90% is because that at those time it is so trending that everything is sound more funny than it actually is in a normal day. Yeah. So I don't think relevancy is the big factor when you are doing spontaneous thing. It's, yeah, it has to be slight. It's more of a factor when it comes to those events which are sort of planned events like National Day or a sports event where you are trying to be more relevant to stand out in the market.
Okay, so we have next question here. Is trend jacking jumping in on internet culture?
Yes, in a way, you can say that it's meme marketing, trend jacking, it's jumping on the internet culture is one of the same thing. Jumping on the internet culture is sort of a big term. I would call it trend jacking is simply it I mean, we don't cover the offline part of it, but trend jacking is anything which is brewing on the social media, or even not brewing on the social media. If it's brewing outside social media as well, like Super Bowl was happening all outside, right? People jumped on it. So there are a lot of events that is happening. You just have to be there and see. Everybody is looking for fun content and create some content related to it, joke around it a bit, and you get the reach that every business is looking for.
Sir, and one more question is that is the trend should be directly related to the brand?
No, it doesn't have to be directly related to the brand. It can be less relevant as well, and brand can try to do it. As shared, the Squid Game was not relevant for the most businesses that trend jacket. So they can put their logo over it, right? So every other brand from cola to, if you see Squid Game memes, you will see, or Squid Game brands, you see worldwide, regardless of the geography, everybody participated on it, right? Some got the most benefit of it. Obviously, those who were early to the party were more of them, and some get no benefit of it or less benefit of it because they may be late to the party. So, not all trends have to be relevant to the brand. So, some of the trends which are generic, it has to be relevant to the consumer that you are trying to target. So, what I'm trying to target, if I'm trying to build a Gen Z audience or millennial audience, I need to know what trends are useful for them or relevant for them, what they can relate to. So, for example, if I want to have an audience which is slightly Star Wars followers, so I need to follow the Star Wars as well and try to trend check over there. So that matters more that does the trend relevant to your audience that you are trying to bring? Because there's no point in you can have million followers, but if they are not slightly, if they are not your present, future, or people who can influence someone at your purchase, then it's useless, right? So you need to have relevance. The trend has to be relevant or important for your target or future target customers.
Much, Mr. Yasir. We thank you for your valuable contribution and time. Dear participants, please raise if any questions is there in the chat box, and also the poll is enabled. Please poll for Mr. Yasir. And Mr. Yasir, one more time, please share the contact details and everything in the chat box. So if anybody having any queries, they can contact you directly.
Perfecto. Thank you, Texila Conference. Thank you, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. If you have any comments, you can always reach me. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir.